Good evening. It's Vijay here. Today is Sunday, 20th July 2025. Welcome to yet another episode of the weekly weekend episode, what we call the weekend reflections or weekend thoughts on what's happening in the market, but not necessarily on a day-to-day basis. On the weekend, we had a plethora of results. Reliance, ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank, IOB, RBL, Bandhan Bank, and a couple of other central public sector banks, plus JSW Steel. And if you look at one way of the results, you can say they're positive. The other way of looking at it is negative. So the title of today's thinking is the glass half empty or is it half full? Because the results are like that. So the question we have to ask is this famous question relevant today? This is going to be fairly longish talk because longish episode because there are a lot of results to look at. In the April end, I had talked about Reliance is Kumbhakarna getting up, and Reliance was trading below 1280, 1300, and suddenly it took off. It looked like as if some insiders in Reliance knew that the results of Reliance will be good. So it broke the 1320 barrier and it went up to 1370. Now, subsequently, what has happened is if you see here, this is the 1320 barrier it broke, made a high, then settled in a narrow range and then bounced back to around 1550 level. So now we are sitting at 1480. 1480, 1460 is the very good support. So now the question is Reliance has come with results. Now, are they good enough for it to start another leg of the rally, or are they not so good, and then this support will crash on Monday? So, Monday, for all practical purposes, is very crucial because Reliance is the leader in the market, and Reliance has struggled for a long time here, taken off, and had a nice consolidation, broken that, gone up, and then there has been continuous selling up to the support level. Typically, in a bull market, you will see this kind of a pattern. So, one should, if you're a bull, you will say, oh, see, it is just taking support. If you are a bear, you will say the net profit, which is looking like a record net profit, is actually come from other income, which is basically selling of Asian Paint shares. So the bull argument will be now they got cash flow of that amount, so they can use it for their internal accruals or for their internal projects. So one way of looking at it is record profits. The other way of looking at it is, the operating pressures are there. Highest ever profit driven by one-time gain. That is what I said about Asian Paints. But then the bearish argument is EBITDA revenue fall across key segments. Now, the oil and gas segment has not done that well, but retail has done. Geo Finance has done. Geo has done well. The telecommunication division, Finance, of course, is a entirely different company. So, what are the big guys talking about? Morgan Stanley, influential brokerage, they maintain a overweight target of 1617, which is an all-time high. Then they know that the retail, they missed in both retail revenue growth and fuel refining. The guidance was optimistic from Reliance after the results. So they're expected to double earnings by 2029. And then there are new energy, telecom, and the balance sheet were bright spots as far as Morgan Stanley is concerned. And next month is the AGM, and people are expecting big things from the AGM. There are also some bugbear, which is the European sanction is there on Russian oil. So will Reliance get affected? Is the question mark. So as I said, that is the half empty part of it. HDFC Bank came with earnings. Of course, they gave 1:1 bonus, and they gave a reasonably good dividend. But the net gain to the bank in the consolidated finance, because they sold HDB Financial Services, they came with an offer for sale. They were 100% owning HDB Financial. Now they own 75%, 74%. So the 26% sale which happened in this quarter is accrued to the bottom line. So again, the bears will say actually the results are poor because if you remove the gains, then the results are poorer than what they were in the past. What the optimists would say, the HDFC Bank utilizes this one-off gains to create provision buffers, which will help them. Just like Reliance is creating a provision buffer, here also HDFC Bank will get an opportunity to create a provision buffer. And also please note, as HDB Financial does well, it's a good NBFC. It's the strongest NBFC as far as my thinking is concerned. So if they do well, it will accrue indirectly to HDFC's financials. So HDFC, if you look at it, net profit is 12% increase, but that, as I said, is because of the one-time gain. The GNPA has gone up by a few basis points. NNPA, net NPA has gone up by slightly 4 basis points. These are the negatives. So that is where the glass is half full. So if you look at HDFC chart, this is a daily chart. If you look at it, it has been trading in a narrow band. Last few days, it has been being sold off. Now it has come to the support level. So whether support level will break or whether it will form a flag pattern, you see, this is the pole and this is the flag, and whether it will take off. So very interestingly poised Reliance as well as HDFC Bank. Then we go to what the brokerages are talking of. Bernstein, for instance, says they're looking for a higher target, 2300. They believe that there is a steady improvement in quarter one, and they have borrowings have been run down, and loan mix shift will limit the NIM decline, is what they believe. Floating and contingent provisions offset gains from higher NOI, and improvement in EPS growth continues. So you have Bernstein, which is bullish on HDFC Bank. So now next is the ICICI Bank earnings. Looks like unanimously better than expectations, and maybe the best of these three behemoths which reported on the weekend. So ICICI Bank net profit has increased by 15%, NII has increased by 11%, GNPA is flat, NNPA is just slightly up by about 2 basis points. So domestic advances are growing 12%, total advances have grown 12% year on year. So NIM is 4.34 versus 4.41. So that is the negative of ICICI Bank. And gross additions of NPA additions were 6,245 crores versus 5,142 versus Q4. So that the pessimist will say glass is half empty. Overall, it looks like glass is more full. Now, if you again look at ICICI Bank daily chart pattern, it looks like a flag again, a longish flag, longish consolidation. So again, coming very near the support. So again, very interestingly poised, whether it will break the support or whether it will, start off on a new rally. So as I said, optimists are thinking it's a support. The pessimists are saying it will break the support and open with a gap down. Then what is the Bernstein saying on ICICI Bank? They say market perform. They are maintaining market perform. They're not terribly bullish, but at 1440. Then stellar margins are there, but it's offsetting weak growth. And credit cost inches up from the ultra low levels they're talking of. Then after Axis Bank scare, the still healthy asset quality trends are a positive and relief. Overall, a good set of numbers is what Bernstein concludes. So the valuation premium is there, but that is justified, is what Bernstein says. Now, S Bank came up with fantastic results. Operating profit up by 53%, NII up by 6%, GNPA and NNPA are both flat. This looks like a glass full, not half empty. RBL Bank looks like a glass half empty, with a net profit down by 46%, NII is down by 13%, GNPA is down by 18 basis points, increased by 18 basis points, and NNPA increased by 16 basis points. So here we have a glass full empty. Then you have Bandhan Bank, which is a very tricky thing. Profit after tax has collapsed by 65%, NII is down by 7.7%. But the full part of Bandhan Bank, incidentally we hold Bandhan Bank, full part of Bandhan Bank is the street expected about 350 crores. They come with a profit of 372 crores. So we do not know exactly how Bandhan Bank will behave, because on Friday, Bandhan Bank was steady and actually closed in the positive, though Bank Nifty closed 500 points down. So interesting, gross NPA is higher, net NPA is higher, provisions are lower. So it's a very interesting thing. And also microfinance issues will be there, I suspect. So it may be a tough quarter for Bandhan Bank going forward. We still have confidence in that. We have bought at much lower levels, but still, nevertheless, we expect things to be better only after the next quarter, is what I had originally thought. Look at IOB profit goes up by 75% over the corresponding period last year. NII increases 12.5%. Net NPA is down slightly 5 basis points. Gross NPA is down by about 17 basis points. So this is a case of glass full. Then you have Punjab and Sindh Bank. Public sector banks seem to be doing very well. Profit after tax has gone up by nearly 50%. NII increased by 6%. PPOP by about 70%. Net NPA 5 basis points lower. Gross NPA about 4 basis points lower. Provisions are lower. It looks like the bright days for Punjab and Sindh Bank, glass full. Then Union Bank, here we have glass empty, completely empty. It looks like NII down by 3%, PPOP down by 11%. Actually, you can say half empty because half full because profit after tax has gone up slightly, and the management commentary seems very good. So we have to see the gross NPA has come down and the net NPA is flat. So this probably may be an interesting stock to look for the upside rather than downside, though they're not come with very good results. Central Bank of India, again, profit after tax is done very well. NII is down slightly, PPOP is up by 15%, provisions are down significantly, net NPA is down 6 basis points, and gross NPA is 5 basis points down. So it looks more like glass full. Then you have JSW Steel, revenue has gone up, revenue actually is flat. EBITDA is up by 18%, which is damn good. Operating profit margin is up by 340 basis points. Net profit is up by 45 basis points. 45% above NDTV profit estimates. So it looks very interesting. So this looks more like glass full. So I would say, as an optimist, that technically the glass is always full because half of it, even if half of it is water, the other half is air. So it's only that if you just consider only water, then the glass is always full. So I've been an optimist generally. So one has to make their own decisions. So whatever you do next week, I hope it is successful. Thank you for joining me.